are now on. So, I have a 1961 Jazzmaster that just came in. Now this is interesting because it was refinished at the factory in 1967. How do you know? There are some stampings inside of the guitar, but it does have a 67 logo on it. It has a 67 finish on it without the fuller plast. More on that later. And it has 67 knobs. These big white knobs are not at all what you'd find on a 1961 Jazzmaster. This is a really unique guitar because as a factory refin, it's very clean. And it sells for a lot less, almost half of what an original 1961 slab board Telecaster or Jazzmaster would sell for. People ask, what's slab board? Slab board is, if you look at the wood right here, if you're looking down at it like that, you're going to see that the rosewood doesn't just cover a curved area, it's fatter. It's a bigger slab. It's curved at the top but not at the bottom. You can see a slab board too will kind of curve at the top above the nut. It's a larger slab that they use from late 59, 60, early 61. By late 61, 62, they started making more curved, less rosewood. They made it curved at the top and the bottom. So that is, slab board. They didn't do that in 67, although this has 67 features. These are 61 pickups, 61 pots, clay dot, a 5-digit serial number, so they hadn't even gotten to the L plate. You can also tell by the way the tummy cuts are, which are exaggerated. They spent more time making these guitars sleeker in the early days. In the later days, they didn't do that. One other thing here too, and I have our Jaguar. Look at these side by side. You can see the Jaguar is a shorter scale length. So the distance from here to here is shorter. You can kind of see where the bridges are placed on these. And you can see that the Jaguar is a shorter scale, little different pickup. We won't go into that. But you can also see here how skinny this headstock is. That's typical of pre-CBS instruments. It does, with a skinnier headstock, give you a greater breaking angle. So the strings hit the tuners at a breaking angle over the nut. The bigger headstock is a little more stable. They did it later, come about 65, they did make a thicker headstock. You can see this headstock is thicker, and you can see this headstock is thinner, especially when I hold them up side by side. So this is a later Jaguar with later features, and you can see the original finish on this compared to the factory refin on this. The coloring is really similar, and this makes this a really unique guitar. And I know you guys know this, but a lot of people ask us, what does this switch do? And half of you know this, half of you would be surprised to find out that this switch, when up, has its own volume and tone for this pickup only. The idea is, with this switch down, you have control. Volume, tone, pickup selector, and you're going to have whatever your volume is preset at. With the switch up, I can select the rhythm pickup and tone it down. Now, if I can do jazz chords, you'd use that for your quieter moments in the set. You flick it up without screwing around with your volume, and then you get back down in here and you're... It's actually kind of useful. There's a lot of modern variants now that don't have that anymore. They just put the selector switch up here, volume and tone, kind of to keep it simple. But there's something about the classic old switching of being able to switch up and have your rhythm pickup down by a third. You can step back in the mix and play it without being annoying. You know what I mean? So that's it. Really cool guitar, really nice grain, lightweight slab board pre-CBS Jazzmaster for half of what it would normally cost. This comes with its original brown hard shell case. It has its deep cuts like pre-CBS Instruments does. It has its Brazilian rosewood fretboard. Don't go there. And it's way undervalued. Fender couldn't make this high quality guitar with Brazilian rosewood, with no plasticizers in the finish, with old wood. They couldn't afford to make it. And it's not, it would be much above the price of these. This guitar is $49.95, and it's worth spending a minute with. Come in.